Yes.
It was cool because like we had I knew you had been in a fire and you talked about like, yeah, I survived X, Y, and Z. And then one night in very like organic, we're hanging out with our friend Heather, and you were just like, well, yeah, this is what actually happened. And we're like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. The details are crazy. Still going.
We usually talk over the intro music, like
still going. Never ending.
It's like a DJ right now. Like, all right, you guys ready to rock?
That's very interesting. I like
and it's this song. And there it is.
Nice.
Okay, guys.
I'll drink to that.
Welcome back.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice. Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Love Heals podcast. Your behind the scenes look into starting a nonprofit from the ground up and all the details in between. Today, we have a very special guest, owner of Train Files LLC, Candid Talk. I'll let honestly you give your kind of run of accolades, but our good friend Anthony Train Johnson.
Thank you.
Okay, let me hit the.
Thank you. I'll be sure to.
This is also too long.
Oh,
So
no,
turn it
I'm
off?
just taking it all in. Like, this is my moment.
Yeah,
That was your moment.
That was your moment.
You know, I'll email the accolades next time. Sorry, Sarah.
No, I should have reached out and asked you for all the
This is
things.
called. This is what it looks like to learn how.
Well, I felt like it would be better if, honestly, you'll explain
Yes.
who you are better than I can.
And my favorite word of the month is organic. This is very organic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get to get it out there on the fly. So
Yeah.
you named a few things. Definitely business owner, Train Files ENT, LLC. Also a stand-up comedian, actor, public speaker, and radio host, as you said previously. I got a lot of other ventures, but those are my main claims to, I don't want to say to fame, but to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? That's basically.
To mediocrity. No.
Yes. There you go. You know what I mean? My main claim to like mediocre life.
No.
But it's very fun and I enjoy it. And also, shout out my Gamblers Anonymous sports gambling page. We do very well there. I'm very proud of those guys. So, yeah. And I'm sure it's something I'm leaving out, but we'll, keep going. I'll spit it out sometime. What I mean? We'll put it in the credits, guys.
Yeah, the rolling credits of all the long things.
Yeah, I am actually working on like a little end credit, like still frame. Oh,
Yes.
cool. So we can actually give people some shout outs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we met Train while we were promoting like crazy the Oceanic show in April. Got connected through a mutual friend who was like, you gotta meet this guy, he can help you with promotions. And we just sat down and got to know Train, and then we haven't left him alone since.
Yeah.
So
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been mutual, you know what I mean? It's been mutual.
No, it's been really fun.
And I will shout out the mutual friend Jesse Reynolds for introducing us. It's just coming, the older I get, the more I value just any relationship with people out here. And I never in a million years thought that, he would connect me to someone that's to you guys, to your company. It's been very beneficial just to be friends of you guys, to soak up, information, to soak up, some of you guys, your goals, your ambition, it drives me. A lot of people look at me like I've already like done a lot, but I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different places. So Love Heals has helped out a lot in that form. So yeah, we're stuck together. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just seamlessly. I think that people do need to understand, like, some joint situations, business partners or just friendships, the chemistry sometimes just seamless. It just works out perfectly well. And I just think that's been our case, whether it's work or just figuring out everyday things, just the chemistry. It's really good. So
Yeah.
We've learned a lot from you too. It's just fun. So this kind of one of the points of this podcast was to not only share what we're trying to figure out, which is ever in motion. As a business owner, you get it. Like things change constantly. So how do you bring people along for the ride? But also we get to meet awesome people out in Lynchburg, and we get to have all these friends. So like, let's bring them on and hear their stories, which we'll want to get into yours a little bit. But I do want to circle back because you just said your word of the month is organic. What does that mean and why?
Well, basically, it's controlled Mayhem. No, it's not.
Controlled mayhem.
It's our band name.
It's not. It's a great band name.
Yeah, it is.
You know, for me, like when I do my podcasting, I'll have a lot of guests that want to know word for word, sentence for sentence, what the topics are, what are we speaking about, and all that good stuff. And sometimes it's cool. You know, I will give them general ideas, but I like to keep, when I say organic, genuine, from the heart. If you have too much time to think on your answer, it becomes packaged.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I say organic, that means, okay, we're doing this on the fly naturally. You know, you're going to get the real me, my real emotion on the real questions, or if I have a guest, I'll get the real, you know, them without any wall being up. Because too much time to think about a question, you would start putting little safeguards on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, polish it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, maybe I should safeguard more. But, you know, I enjoy the natural being of just, you know, letting out, you know, what I feel in the moment. So
Love that.
that's right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we need to work on probably being a little more polished, but like our thing is all organic.
Well, we
We're
call
just
this,
like, hey.
yeah, we call this podcast. I've called it, so maybe it's just me calling it that. But our ongoing conversation, because every week we either, whether we have someone on or not, it really is just Courtney and I talking about like where are we at in the nonprofit space, in the organizational growth, in how like working with you also just was a setup meeting, but also became very organic. It just became like, oh, come to this thing and we'll talk about blah, blah, blah. Come help us with this. And then you, on the fly, ended up emceeing one of our events, which was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
remarkable.
Very,
You guys,
very organic.
man, you guys keep me young, man. I swear. Man.
Train just came to hang out and
Came to hang out
ended
at
up
a
having to work.
show,
Yeah.
and our MC, who was supposed to be coming, wasn't texting me back. And I was like, okay, we have two choices here. I could do it, which I could have, but like,
Yeah,
I just, I don't know if people fully know this about me, but maybe they, organic,
Yes.
yay. Yeah, I think like the perceived person and then who you actually are oftentimes not always aligned. And I think that's an interesting discussion in general, because people perceive me as like really outgoing and like really all these things, and I am to a point, but I've never been the person who wants to be on the stage. Like I've never been me, and I don't mind doing it, and I actually can tap into it. Like people have told me like, hey, when you're on stage, it's like I go black. I don't see anything. Like
You're good.
all eyes are
So
just
does
like
Train.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you so sad.
Wow.
Like, can we hit the laugh cue on that one? Like, do we have a button?
We have a laugh cue
We have a
somewhere,
button?
but
Let's try anything just point. Like any sound period.
was not-
It's right on time.
You'll hear that after when we actually get it cut, and it was perfect. I'll keep the sound that I played a secret.
Oh, dear God.
love
Oh,
that.
man, that's very
such a
organic.
good sound. Organic, yeah. Anyway, the perceived person is not always the same. So for me, I can MC, I can
Yes.
do it. But one, as much as I talk about Love Heals, and this is a whole different discussion that we won't get into right now because it could be like 20 hours of like, and this is where it's interesting to talk to you. Maybe we need to do a part 2 with Train, because you
down.
talk about
I'm
loving
down.
work, and like I love work, and like stuff about Love Heals just bleeds out of me. Like I can't
Yes.
help it, because, and I've had to come to grips with like, if Love Heals, the entity dissolves tomorrow, how does that affect me? And while I'd be sad, it doesn't change who I am and how I'd live. And so for me, like there's a lot of peace of like, Love Heals will live forever, because it's not an organization, it's how I want to live. And it'll always take place in this format or that format. But then you have the conversations of like work-life balance and blah, blah, blah. But I've just come to terms, and actually meeting you has been super helpful. And I don't think I've shared that yet, because I've been processing it recently. But like Train loves to work, and you love having those conversations. And like, that's what fuels me up too. I love talking about what your work has going on, and like, how are we working together to achieve our dreams, achieve our goals, and leave people better. And like that to me is the purpose of work. So anyway, all that to
Yes.
say, love talking with you about that stuff. We do our after hour hangout, whatever. And it's a cool place to be accepted of like, it's not a bad thing to be passionate. And I've appreciated that about our conversations of being just passionate and all that stuff. So
Yes. When you, you know, if you're doing your passion, you know, the work becomes, you know, just like breathing, like you want, like I want to work. But, you know, for me, you know, I've had careers where I said, all right, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. have a career that's going to help me financially, help my family, have longevity of being able to, have financial freedom or whatever or whatnot. But throughout time, not having a passion for it, and then, having a near-death experience just brought things in perspective to me, because I feel like, man, if we're going to, if some of you guys at home work tough jobs where you are risking your health or risking your well-being, if I'm going to risk my life or my well-being, I might as well do it for something that I truly love. And I know in this day and age, it's not easy or simple just to jump up and do what you love. Working is something that, most Americans just have to do.
Right.
But if you can take your niche or take your passion and evolve it into something, man, I never expected to be doing what I love every day, but it just truly grows me each day. And I'm so appreciative of it. So, like when you asked me to work on the fly, the host, I'm excited for opportunities like that. I try not to let it overwhelm me,
Which, for context, our MC didn't call me. I was like 5 minutes to start time, and Train's just bebopping, enjoying himself, trying to get some dinner. And
I was hanging out, and she was like,
ran up.
She was like, should I do it? And honestly, my bad, because I think I was like, nah, Train can do it. And she was like, cool. And I was like, okay, bye. And I went outside.
And I was gone, and I had a list for Train of like, here's all the things. Yeah. Read this.
The list would be an understatement. This is like
a document manifesto.
This is like a Courtney Bible. Like it was like
prepared.
It was so much, from me being an auctioneer. Is that the word?
Yeah, you were like an live auction, the raffles,
hold the crowd, do a little comedy, have them laughing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
But for me in my form, in my work, hosting is one of the things that I truly love. So those opportunities happened, and I'm like, all right, you could shy away, or you could say this is not organized and I shouldn't do this. But the opportunity you have to do well in these moments, or just go out there and work, people see it, people enjoy you. I've made some relationships off of just doing that for you guys,
Yeah.
The restaurant themselves, they liked what they saw and all that good stuff. So, and I'm a religious person. Nothing happens by accident. So if this happens and Courtney and Sarah is in need, the Lord is in my ear like, all right, son, put the cape on. Put the cape on. So, so I definitely enjoyed the experience.
Awesome. And we appreciated it because, again, I could do it. But I also think people get tired of, not tired. Yeah. If it's always me or if it's always Sarah, we really want other people to own this. And I think there's so many ways. And I think that's been cool about our dynamic in our relationship on a work level and then a friendship level. But we've actually found ways that our businesses can come together and both one doesn't have to dim for the other, and that's some stuff we're in the works for 2026. Which we won't talk about right now. But so anyway, we're excited.
And it's kind of reminded me of when I've been put on the spot a few times in my life. I remember 3 years ago, Screech from Saved by the Bell, rest in peace, Dustin. He had a show at the Glass House in Lynchburg. And one of the comedians I work with, a guy that I helped get into the game, he was on the card to do a show with Dustin. So he calls me up and goes, the comedian is like, man, I'm very nervous about this. Like, you've been doing comedy longer than me. This guy is legit. And would you just come to the venue? Just be there for me. So I get there, and the club owner is like, hey, can you guys walk Dustin in? His people are pulling him up to the back. So it becomes an experience I don't expect. We walk him in, we're in the back, just like we're sitting right now, just chilling, talking. And the comedian guy goes, hey, Dustin, this is a guy right here who put me into comedy. His name is Anthony Train Johnson. And Dustin goes exactly like this, like on the spot. It's like, hey, man, you helped him get on? It's like, yeah. He's like, you do comedy? I was like, definitely. I'm a comedian. He's like, we need another guy. You got a set ready? You want to do a set?
Always be prepared.
Always prepared. Because if you say no to that moment, man, it's just golly. Yeah. Even if you're nervous about looking stupid or whatever, just saying no to that moment, you will beat yourself up. So me personally, I was like, not only do I have material, I see you guys don't have a host. You want me to host this thing too? All they had was the business owner just on the mic, So it went from me doing nothing to me hosting and doing comedy that night. And I just said one thing. I said, look, dude, I am going to call you Screech. I know you probably hate this, but I can't. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mess up and do it.
Yeah,
it's about Screech. He said, if you make it funny, you can do it. So I made it funny. He loved it. I made fun of him. I made fun of everybody. and I had a good time. So yes, I was always known to be ready for your opportunity, because you never know. Like, we want our opportunities to be packaged and ready for us, and we can pull up prepared. But man, when it hits you when you're not prepared, that's when you really know how much work you've been doing.
Yeah,
100%.
well, and like things in life rarely come to you like packaged.
Yes.
Like, because people are always going to be people, stuff's always going to happen organically. So, like, if you plan for X, Y, and Z, the odds of X, Y, and Z happening and then going exactly how you planned are so slim that just being ready to be on the fly is, in my opinion, way better preparing than having a prepared, packaged thing.
Yes. Yes.
But tell us how you like got into comedy, and because you did it pre. Do I need to speak up?
You're okay. You just sound a little different. Talk a little bit.
So
more
one more for everyone at home. We've never done this with 3 people.
Oh, crystal
is
clear.
great.
That
Yeah, I'm
time.
sure. Okay, we'll get back into it. But yeah, so we've never done this before with 3 people with the
great.
actual mics.
I think
So
you're doing great. I'm like,
thanks. We're Court's doing headset today, just kind of to make sure we're all getting picked up, and then we're sharing mics. So, yeah, because tell us how you got into comedy and on the stage, and you do acting, because you got into that pre your accident, which
Yes.
we would also love for you to touch on. But like, how'd you
Yes.
get into the entertainment field initially?
I would honestly start in my childhood and my family. I have a very big family. They're very creative. They're very, humor based. They allow you to be yourself, from moms to uncles, all across the board. So I grew up as a child looking at people that was just very funny already. And then as I got older, I saw how much power it was. And not that I'm power hungry at all, but the effect that I can have on someone's day. Being a child and just saying something funny on the school bus, and then just watching people go from frowns to laughs or smiles, is something that's very, almost magical. Just to be able to affect someone's mood without spending a dollar or doing anything of, really physical effort. That's just always amusing to me, just that right there alone. And the more I would just look at how laughter, gives people life. And I was always a very positive kid. So I was like, as a kid, just messing around, being funny, or just having back and forth. I didn't think I was funny. Let me get that clarified. To this day, I don't even know if a lot of this stuff is just my perspective. Like, most comedians make it because their perspective becomes funny.
Yeah.
You're laughing, but I'm so serious about what I'm thinking, what I
So
saw.
honestly, that's real. Yeah.
And then for me also as a child, and to dig deeper, my father left when I was 8 years old. So I think a lot of that came from not having proper attention and saying, hey man, when I am the class clown, I get attention. When I am the teacher asks who wants to go in front of the classroom, and my hand is the first one up as a kid, like, I don't care if I get this wrong. I don't care if I look stupid. Like, y'all gonna hear me today. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of like bad times or trauma, I'm gonna say trauma, but a lot of hard times, hardship will mold sometimes your career or your passions.
Yeah.
And that's what for me, that's what it was. And my grandma loved watching funny stuff. She loved watching this show called Sanford and Son.
Oh my gosh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Over and over
Yeah.
that. And there was also a show that goes even back further called the Flip Wilson Show, which was like late 70s. And I was able to see Flip Wilson was a man who had a show to where he would do little skits all through the shows, and he had characters, and he would go from a comedian to just being a speaker to having different characters. And I just was enamored by something like that, and just so comedy and seeing things like that from, my family. I was like, I love doing this. And then the theatrical stuff, I just always looked at that little box at TV screen and just, it seemed like I could just leave my world and go to a different world.
Yeah.
So I just loved acting. I studied acting. I studied comedians, old ones, young ones, no matter what color they are. Rodney Dangerfield was one of my favorite guys. He was a comedian from the 70s and 80s, a bigger white man who would just self-deprecate all day, all day long. Perfect. I get his name. His most success was "I Get No Respect." I get nervous. He has a little Chucky voice. Yeah, I get no respect. These guys. And he talks about everybody just craps on him all day long. And so me just studying these things, having a love for it, my childhood, and seeing what I can do for people. I'm a people pleaser. You know, I try not to be a people pleaser to a fault, but you know, I always want the best for people, even people I don't even know that well, even people I shouldn't even care about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the origin of it. And then when I got through school, even I was in a small county school where nobody believed that, you know, back then there was, I'm going to sound old.
Back in my day.
Yeah, social media wasn't everything at all. Like you had to make it to Hollywood from the TV screen.
Yeah, you had
Like,
to get it in the
had
newspaper.
You had, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I would line myself up to prepare for the future as a kid. And my mother would always tell us, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Like, I don't care what nobody say. You know, so I tried public speaking classes early. I tried drama classes early. I took a debate class 2 times because I said, you know, one day I may have my own show. I need to know how to go back and forth with people properly.
Did you like a debate class? Because I feel like that would clash with your people pleaser.
I loved it because
Never mind.
my debate class was also a public speaking class. And I had a teacher, a little tiny old white lady named Miss Leatherwood, who was about 80-some years old. And she was short with little beady eyes. And everyone was so intimidated by Miss Leatherwood. Like, she was definitely a, you know, intimidating figure. You know, she was so small, she would just eat you alive if you wasn't on point or, you know, if you was lackadaisical. So having her challenge me early made me love it all, you know. Debating, okay, so I know I can't people please in a debate, so that's out the window.
Okay.
You know, now we're about properly getting our point across.
Yeah.
And properly listening to the other side's point also.
Yeah, that's
Right.
huge.
You
Yeah.
know, that's what I was taught early. Like Miss Leatherwood taught us to listen first. Like, I don't want you sitting here preparing to answer while someone's talking. Like,
Right.
listen, and then you go from there. So yeah, I had love for all those things and the public speaking things. And you know, she drilled the stuff into my head. As you know, I was not great getting this stuff. You know.
Yeah.
And man, like, I remember her little finger, like, head up, Anthony, head up. No one wants to listen to anyone talking down like this all day. Do you want to listen to someone like that? I wouldn't listen to a word they would say. So, you know, so yeah. So I love challenging myself too as a kid and you know, same to this day. So all those things, and none of my friends were doing these classes. You know, a lot of my friends was like, bro, why you going to the debate class?
What age range was that? Like,
What age was I?
yeah.
This my first class to, I would say, push my future was in 9th grade.
Okay.
And that was the public speaking courses. And that went through 11th grade, I believe. And the debate thing went 9th to 11th grade. And the drama stuff was early on, actually. My first drama setting was in 5th grade. I sung a solo. I can't sing. Why did they let me sing?
That's hilarious.
It was Lion King. It was like the intro to the Hakuna Matata song. I was Simba or something. Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah, something like that.
Gosh, you had the lead.
That was scary.
That's huge.
Because that was 5th grade, and this thing was done in front of the entire school.
Yeah.
So once I got over that in 5th or 6th grade, where I'm just in front of the entire school, I'm like, yeah, I can do anything. You know,
I'm unstoppable
you know.
now.
Yeah.
And yep, and also I'm forgetting my marketing classes. I jumped into those my freshman year. You know, I started with I think it was business marketing, and then I went to fashion marketing, sports marketing, and that was, I thought I was going to be a marketing agent. I wanted to do that. I wanted to design, not design, but I wanted to make, you know, commercials, promotions for different, you know, companies. So
Yeah.
I just started on this
You're
stuff
kind of
early.
doing literally all of it now, which is
it's
cool.
crazy. That's
You're
what I said,
literally doing
Lord.
all of
It all
it, yeah.
happened. Like, it all was for a great reason, doing all these things.
Yeah.
Because years later, everything is right here. Like, all
Yeah.
the stuff I do.
Yeah. I've
So cool.
noticed that. Sorry, I'm going to move this for a second. I've noticed that. Go out and, you know
I love that.
what I'm saying? Anyway,
That sounds like yeah, I got a uncle that talks like that.
I was just talking to someone today about how everything that we do, there's really no such thing as specialties anymore. Like, I just do this. It's like that. The world where that is relevant doesn't matter as much anymore. Now it's about being multifaceted and XYZ. So it's cool that there really has been all these different pieces. Every person who's chasing a dream can always look back to, like, man, when I was a dishwasher at this country club, then I learned this skill, and like all of those skills compound into your future. So I think that's really cool. So you're learning all these things, you have all these things you're passionate about, and at a young age, you kind of understood the direction you kind of wanted to head with your life, which I think is really key because a lot of people don't have that clarity. So I feel like you had good clarity. And then you ended up, so you're working at a print company,
Yes.
right? Okay.
And to get the proper order here, I had all my dreams and passions I did. And coming out of school, I tried college. It wasn't, the passions that I had for the marketing idea slowly started to like just drain out of me. And I started projecting finances, seeing friends in college, debt, all that. And I was like, man, can I be effective without going this route? And if I'm not passionate about this anymore, maybe I'm passionate about facets of it, but not
The whole thing.
yes. So I stopped college, and my main thing was, and the young kids at home, listen, please, have your dreams definitely. Always have something to fall on. So I said, I need a trade. Like, I have to have a trade. I have to have something to fall back on, period. So I was like 20 years old when I got into printing, and that fell into my hands from just a high school associate, a high school, he's the
High school
that's
associate.
crazy. This man worked at the high school for the sports department or whatever. He did like this, the media went for it. He also was a big rep at a company. And it was one of those things where I was 20, I needed a job. I went to a job fair and he was there. Shout out Jimmy Lakes. I love you, Jimmy Lakes. Very big personality, very charismatic. He's the definition of charisma. He should be somewhere on Mount Rushmore. Just, I don't know. He needs a picture somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, he's amazing.
see that
He's
coming.
remarkable. He's a remarkable human being too. So Jimmy Lakes, definitely.
So fun story
Live.
is every single episode that we shoot, that man's name is John. He's one of the people who owns this company.
Okay.
And every single episode without fail, he pops in on a phone call because he paces in this room.
And then he forgets that we're in here,
goes-
and he looks shocked, like how he
And he
just
leaves.
did.
That is hilarious.
It happens every time.
I'm gonna make a graphic that we just pop in every time he goes.
He's perfect.
Yeah,
I just
it's
love how
my favorite.
comfortable y'all was in the moment. Y'all just was ready for that. Like, all
Oh
right.
yeah.
No, we knew it was coming.
Every time. It's like a paid ad, but it's not a paid ad at all. But it's consistent.
I have that issue, not to get off topic, but the pacing on the phone thing when
Yeah.
there's important calls, I cannot sit still. I will walk back and forth through my house
Yes.
until
Me
my
too.
calves hurt.
I typically
Yeah,
go
same.
outside and just.
Yep. Even when I send voice memos to either one of y'all, I'm walking around the house, I'm picking up stuff.
My
putting
yoga
stuff in.
instructor one day found me out in the back of the plaza, where all the trash is, because I was on the phone. I'm like, here I go. It could be anywhere,
So something to fall back on. Yeah.
When the adult life hits. So adult life hits, and I have my passions and my goals, but I said, all right, let's get this trade going. So I jumped into a field, and that was definitely intimidating for me. I had to learn so many skills I didn't have as a child. I didn't have a father around. I had, older male cousins and things like that. But there's some things as an 18, 19-year-old I didn't know how to do that a lot of my guy friends did. So I had to learn as an adult, you know what I mean? From something simple as changing tires or working with tools and things like that. So I am thankful for that trade because, it definitely, that was my fatherhood right there, learning tools at 19 years old,
Right. Yeah.
20 years old. So, in that trade, in that business, I got it going. I learned quickly. A lot of young people didn't, want to do this type of job. It was taxing. It's 12-hour shifts, a lot of mechanical work, a lot of mental stress too. Deadlines to be made and all that. But in the midst of it, I said, let me work on my passions. So I started doing funny videos, those skits that everyone do now. I was doing them way back. I was gonna I'm gonna just put my thoughts on the camera, and so that became very popular. And so my comedy career was taking off as my trade was actually doing well also.
Okay.
So yeah, that just came from me making a lot of funny videos. Shout out to my friend TC. He's the one that told me that, okay, you need to start putting something out. Yes, you're funny. You have, your goals and ambition, but he's the wave now is hey man, pick your phone up and just do something.
Right.
Yeah.
I was I need to take time and package. I need to call certain camera. He's no words, pick your phone up and just do stuff. So so that led to my cousin Gigi came in from New York City, and she's like,
I'm so excited about where this is going.
yeah, she's like, I show your videos all the time. I was like, yeah, thanks. She's like, a guy I used to date, he's a DJ from New York that lives here now too. He's he's just enamored with your videos. He thinks they're so good and funny. He has to meet you And, I don't know what he wants, but he wants to meet you badly. And so she's like, here's his number, So I call him and he's like, look, man, I need you to do stand-up comedy. I've never done stand-up. You know what I'm saying? I had a love for these things, but I've never done it. But the thing about it wasn't like, hey, I need you to try stand-up. I need you to do amateur night. He's like, it's the biggest show of the year. It's a DJ battle, and they have performances going with artists coming from out of state at phase 2. It's going to be sold out. Like, I want to do something different. I'm a top-level DJ, but I want a comedian to bring me out. I want a comedian to say some funny stuff for like 3 minutes straight, and then I come hit him in the head. So I was like, man, I said, can you give me a little time? I said, man, I don't want to, my first time on stage is for your huge event. He's like, what's your address? I want to come sit down with you.
What's your address? It's
crazy.
I'd be
And he came 3 days later like a college recruit for an athlete. DJ Bobby B, I appreciate him for that. He really believed in me a lot from day one. And he sat there in front of me and was like, look, man, like, I know you can do this. I want you to do this. You conquer this moment right here. Think about it. You're not nervous about no amateur night. I was like, golly. So I done it.
Easily convinced.
And this is where it gets cool. And I haven't even told these stories on my podcast. One day I will. Love Hills, y'all got it first.
Ayo.
So it's really remarkable stuff that happens. So the anticipation for this was big. They announced it. My family was excited. My friends were excited. And it was a lot of pressure for me for my first show, even though it was like top 5 minutes tops. So here's the thing. Other acts from the city was supposed to be performing, singers, rappers, whatever. I'm there, and I'm looking at all these other artists, and the show was just going hour after hour after hour. And I'm like, he's supposed to win on stage. She's supposed to win on stage. They iced out the local people and said, we're going to do the real people that's supposed to be here. The guy that made the Wobble song was there also.
That guy.
They started, I don't know, by hook or by crook, or I don't know who was in control, who was doing this, but I'm noticing good friends that are good singers and artists, and they're getting down. I'm like, man, I was supposed to win on at 8:30. It's 10.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everyone kind of got the feel backstage, like, it's not happening for us tonight. They're going to let the big guys handle this. It's sold out, wall to wall. Start texting some of my friends. I don't know, guys. Might not be tonight. I did one particular text to my Aunt Charlene. Shout out Aunt Charlene. She had no business in this venue. And she was front row.
I already love her.
Amongst the young people, literally front stage, 12 o'clock.
Amazing.
And I texted her and I said, you might want to go home and get some rest. I was supposed to go on at 9:30. Oh, excuse me. like 9:40 or something like that. It's 11:20. It's 11 something. The venue closed at 2.
That's crazy.
Or whatever. So I texted her and I said, I don't think it's going to work out. Thank you for coming. And my aunt texted me in all caps. Y'all might have to bleep this A word out. She's like, she texted me all caps. Anthony with an F. She says my name Anthony, not Anthony.
Anthony with an F.
How my mom does this Anthony thing. Anthony, you better get your on that stage before I grab the microphone and get your on the stage. Figure out whatever you got to figure out.
Charlene,
you have 10 minutes.
I looked at that text and was like, I don't know, man. Just put like a freaking, no pun intended, put a fire in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? She's right. Screw this. I didn't prepare too long. So what I did was I went to the main guy that was running the whole entire event, called Arthur Landrum. He was a very sleek looking man. He had an all white suit on. He's very well known, very prominent. He's been doing this for years. He's like 60, so he's been doing this for 30 years. Promotions, big things. So I said, Arthur, I said, Mr. Landrum. I said, hey man, I'm going on next. Exactly what I said, right? And he looks at me and says, who are you? I said, I'm Anthony Train Johnson.
Anthony with an F.
Yeah. Like he would know who Anthony Train Johnson is, right? Yeah. I haven't done anything in my life. I saw I'm Anthony Train Johnson.
Ooh.
And he's like, oh, you my comedy guy? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, tell DJ you up next.
All right.
Like that. All of the acts were done. They were sad in the back. And I just got up and said, I'm not sitting. I'm going to go down swinging. So I go to the DJ. I never forget, the DJ had his headset on. He did not want to be bothered. I'm tapped on the shoulder.
Oh my gosh.
He's giving me a little look. I'm like, I'm going on next. He's like, and he kept in mind, ignored me. Like, you're not even there, bro. I don't know who let you up here, but I'm going back to work. And I looked at him, I said, Arthur Landrum said, I'm up next. And that's the big man. He was like, I know he's wondering, how does little S-H-I-T how you get close to Arthur? He's like, man, coming to the stage, yo. What's your name again? Man, this dude coming to stage, funny guy, man. Like, he's like the most bland, like whatever.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And
Pure
man,
adrenaline at
that
that
crowd
stage.
was lit. And I went from nervous and scared to, I'm gonna run through a wall. Like, y'all try to block me out here.
That's
So my
awesome.
whole set went out the window, and I literally just started making fun of everybody, from the DJs, making fun of them. But it was fun enough to where it's like, man, this guy's not scared. Even the guy that made the guy that run it, Arthur, I made jokes about him. You know, everybody, and I just boom in the crowd. I'm making fun of people in the crowd. I just did something crazy. I was like, which one of y'all girls up in here? I said, girls, a whole bunch of crews. Girls had the crews. Which one of y'all girls got that crazy ex-boyfriend, ex-baby? I said something crazy like that. And like one group was just going crazy, like, oh my gosh, he right here. And I just went in about jokes about sketchy guys and all that. So
amazing.
I finished, and Arthur walks to me. I wasn't supposed to get paid nothing for this. I'm a new guy. After the show's done, he pulls out a $100 bill. Hey, you did good, son. It's like, wow, I got real money.
Whoa.
He gave $100 for 5 minutes. Are you serious? How much money these guys are making over here? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
So after that, and I do thank, the city for this. Once one company sees something go well, the other ones call.
Yeah.
I did well at Phase 2. That was our biggest venue here, period.
Yeah.
Sold out capacity. And after that, the venues just started calling. I'm very thankful for that. I didn't have to go on a bunch of hunts to call different venues to do shows. The Clubhouse, Chris England, the owner, he inboxed me on Facebook next.
Nice.
And he's like, he's going to be amazed when he hear this story. Because he don't know this.
You don't know.
He contacted me. He's like, hey, man, I heard you do comedy. I heard you're good. So, yeah, man. He said, I want a comedy show. I want about 4 comedians.
I want a comedy show.
Yeah, I want about 4 comedians in the fall. Maybe a DJ too, That's how he's talking to me. And y'all, there was nobody but me doing comedy. I didn't have 4 comedians.
Right. Like
Central
you're a
VA.
whole crew or
Where's
something.
one comedian? You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Lynchburg too, like
so young folks, man, take this in. The business side of me just triggered. I just immediately said, "Oh, no problem." She put it in your calendar.
Time to get to work, boys.
No problem.
Yeah.
And he was excited. He said, and that's the thing about, Phase 2 is the biggest venue there. So people wonder, not to toot my own horn, how you get paid as an amateur comedian. Where in this area there is no comedy. So the biggest venue pay you money. And then the next venue, it's smaller than them. They want you to work. Well, hey guys, Phase 2 and paid me. Y'all definitely.
Yeah.
And that's how, and Chris England from Jump. It's like, hey man, yeah, whatever fee, I got you. So that like legitimized me very quickly. And y'all, it was crazy. I just started getting on Facebook, and I was just looking for any type of help. Ask Facebook is a fun thing. I just said, hey, you guys know any comedians? Ask Facebook. And my friends list is people all over the place. So people was in Richmond, DC, so they started tagging different guys. And I got 2 guys that was tagged that wasn't from here, and one from here. And I had one particular guy that was a cousin of mine who I just seen a lot of talent in him. He was very funny. He was a hilarious guy. And I called him. And I said, Dwight, you need to do stand-up comedy with me. And he said, man, I am terrified of that. Like, I'm funny.
Right. Yeah. It's a whole different beast.
It's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
But I said, you have it, man. I know you want to do something like this. So just have the opportunity. So I got these 4 guys. And I got a DJ Bobby B, the guy that found me. And put me. I called him. So he's like, man, I give you one show. You call me 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
What a gig.
That's
Good
awesome.
job, kid.
Yeah.
And that place sold out too. And the owner was very happy. And basically I ended up just forming a tour off of this. I formed a comedy tour where we have 4 comedians. You get your comedy. After we're done, clear the floor. DJ can play music. You guys can party and make all the money you want. So venues love that. So I probably did can't even count, probably 13, 14 venues around Central VA.
Okay.
Pool halls, whoever wanted it. And then I ended up in weird spots like Glasgow, Virginia, where there's nothing but like one, sorry, Glasgow. It's like one thing, there's like one little pool hall there.
Right.
And
How old were you when you were doing
this? Was like, I would say I was, before my childhood, I was 23. 23,
That's
my
that's
first.
hustling at 23.
Yeah, 23, 24.
And you were still doing the trade stuff?
Yes,
So you
definitely.
had
So I-
2 jobs, basically.
Yes, and I'm learning the trade because in that business, as a printer, you come in as a helper, as assistant. You're not running the machine. You're just helping the guy ahead of you run the machine. And running this machine, I'm talking like it's like 50 yards long. It's a lot of technical things, it's a lot of physical things. So it was intimidating. So I'm trying to learn this, and they offered me like, "Hey man, you want to step up and learn whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So I had to learn this stuff while trying to pivot and learn comedy, but I did both of them. And then my child came when I was 25, and I just like doubled down on the work.
Yeah.
You guys don't have children. Before you have children, people know like if I'm okay, I'm fine. Like I can, I don't know.
Yeah,
I eat ramen noodles or a salad all week long or whatever. But you have a kid, it's like, all right, man, I have to have real structure. Like you know what I'm saying? So that pushed me, and so everything just snowball effect. Doing those comedy, I called it a comedy tour because that's what it was. It ended up with a lot of venues calling me and me interchanging, certain comedians that roll with us, and I would call a different DJ basically each time, if I felt a different, vibe, and that went great all the way up to COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then COVID
awesome.
just led to radio. Cause,
Well,
sorry. When COVID happened, I gotta say this. I gotta spit this out. COVID happened. The tour stopped. And a man approached me saying that Tony Cam was inquiring about me.
Yes.
That guy. I love Tony Cam.
Tony thought I was very funny. And Tony got me on the line and said, "Hey, man, you need to do radio." I was like, "I love radio. I gotta listen to talk radio 4 hours a day. Like just like literally at my headset at work or driving. Like I love it." And everything just went bam, 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 bam. I went comedy to Tony Cam to Radio 424. I did that for like a year or two. And I went from one show on his station. He had like 6 or 7 shows to, he had 4 shows. I went from one show to being on all the shows. They would just, each show, they had a show called Let's Talk, where it was like a relationship talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man versus woman talk, you know what I'm saying? So they would ask me to come sub in, and they love how I subbed in and end up being on all the shows that he had there. So I would get there at 7:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings. I wouldn't leave till like 1:30 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
So that just, and Tony taught me a lot, my radio discipline and all that good stuff.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Crazy.
That was a mouthful. I think I answered like one question in 20 minutes.
That's okay.
Oh, that's good. You were that's like an origin story a little bit, and we
Yeah.
hadn't heard that, so that was cool to hear.
Fun
Yeah.
learning
And then radio
lessons.
led to acting, so it just kept going. But go ahead.
Ta-da.
They all build together.
Yeah, they
Yes.
do. We'll have you on for part 2.
We can tease them.
And we can tease
the
it kind
story,
of.
then we
We'll
just-
have you
Yeah, 'cause
on
that's gonna take
for
time.
that one's a whole. Because I would love, because that really is part of like you went through a very defined hardship.
Yes, and everything was gone.
And
I'm in the
everything-
comedy,
yeah.
the acting, everything's out the window. I had no contracts then.
Yeah.
And I said, who's going to hire me to be an actor when I have burns on me? Like, I have to play a burn guy. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Very
the case at
specific
all.
role.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that is a remarkable story. That is
Yeah.
a teaser for you guys at home.
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
Yeah.
let them get to know me more.
Yeah.
And then they will be excited for, you
love
know,
that.
the
Yeah, we'll
main
do a
event.
part 2. We'll have you on and share that story and its action and like give it the respect and like depth that it needs.
So one, I appreciate the perspective of work, a job, and I feel like people wrestle with that all the time. They're like, I have dreams. I have dreams. It's like, okay, I love that. Keep the passion, but you also have to create a plan.
Well, you got to work.
You got to work. So
Yes.
for you, it was the print shop and the trade. For me, it was serving. For Sarah, it was like social media. You did cleaning and all that
did
kind
a
of stuff.
cleaning company. I balanced a couple other jobs.
Yeah.
Constantly catering, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
you find your thing that's like, okay, this can help me achieve XYZ. So like for me, it was really bartending and like stuff like that was able to help me. And it's cool because again, nothing's wasted. I'm reading Unreasonable Hospitality right now and learning about fine dining and like how it translates into giving people experiences to change their day, which is exactly what you're talking about. It's exactly what we try to do. It's the common thread, I think, for people who have a heart for others is like, no matter how you give off your craft or your product to the world, if it's through the lens of how do I change someone for the better, that unites all of us together. And I think that's this natural thing. But anyway, so you have this like climb of both, and you have a daughter come into the world, and how like there's a lot of natural growth there. Was there particular moments where you can pull out though, and it was like, what were the moments where you're like, this isn't going to work? Or was it mostly like it's all going well until this one catastrophic thing? I'm just curious.
Well, first I'll start with the first part of the question with the work part, and why I appreciate going through those times of working these jobs. That was very hard. Helped me relate to the audience more. It helps me appreciate what I'm able to do. Not to brag or anything like that, but there's been times where I've done work and I'll look down and it'd be like an hour hour of comedy, $400 or $500. You know what I'm saying? And I would look down at that check and I would be like, what I had to do to get $400 or $500? You know what I'm saying? So it helped me appreciate and work harder. And as far as the hills and the bumps and the mental aspects of things, it happens a lot. COVID was one. You're rolling and everything is going and you're on the radio and all that, and all of a sudden the radio's done. There is no acting gigs. There is no comedy. I can't book comedy venues and all that. That definitely hurt, the process. But it helped me to just say, hey, man, you got this phone right here. Like, the people are right there. Everyone's at home.
Yeah.
So, that started a whole nother origin where my TikTok wave started. Shout out to my TikTokers out there.
Hey.
Very, I hit TikTok, boots on the ground. Wow, I shouldn't say that. That's a country club. But I hit the ground running, had so much creative. That's the thing my mom always said. Like, she was like, you have to get your creative side out, or I think you're going to lose your mind.
Right.
I have to get it out, all the stuff. So immediately I started appreciating TikTok for the editing things I could do. And then boom, it was like viral video, million views here, million views there. So I knew that I could find different avenues. But I think mentally, for me, I can think of one roadblock that happened. Definitely was, I went through a period of depression. You know what I'm saying? Like real depression, to where, and there's a few different factors in it. It was, my work, my job, I loved it, but I felt like, as I got higher up into my job, I just, you start thinking about things like, man, they really don't appreciate me with that. They kind of did me sideways with that. I've been working here too long to kind of get, and I kind of feel like they kind of used me for, certain things that would happen. Like, they used me for a fall guy for that. So mentally, I was kind of like, evolving at my trade and just not liking the optics of business a little bit of what can happen. And then also, and I'll say this to people, at home, I was dating someone that didn't believe in my goals. They didn't.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lack of alignment
she would, I would dim my light some, and I'm appreciative of this experience now because of the growth that came from it. But, just simple things as in, you're 30 now. Why are you still doing stuff like that? You're not rich off of comedy. Why are you still doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, why you got to make so many videos? Like, you should be a little more low key. So I would start to hold back.
Adjust
putting out
yourself,
videos,
right.
hold back putting out things, and mentally, that wasn't helping my creative side. And so, so the love life with that, and there was up and down love life, and then the facts of real life, I just end up being depressed, like really depressed. Like I had to go to the doctor and tell the doctor, I'm not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not excited about anything. I got the point I wasn't excited about a paycheck. I used to, to this day, I get excited to be around my kid all the time. I ain't excited about nothing. So that's when I knew, like, all right, and it's okay, guys, you have to go see a doctor to talk to someone or whatever, whatnot, because I went through a little period of time, and, my doctor talked to me, and he said, yeah, I did one of those depression tests. He said, yeah, you scored, like, you're depressed right now. So I went on medication for like 6 months.
Wow.
Bupropion. But that did, just it helped balance. And then I got the relationship. That helped a lot. But yeah, that helped balance me out in that portion of time. I make jokes about it now. Like, I look at the pictures of me on that medication, and I was like, ooh, I was woohoo. Woo, I was happy. But yeah, it just helped me learn to, hey, man, control what you can control and stop stressing over things.
The rest that you can't.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that for me, mentally, I did go through that of just having, my mental be tested while I'm trying to reach my goals.
Right. Yeah.
And, luckily I didn't let it, conquer me.
That's awesome. Appreciate you sharing that. And
Yeah.
I think too, it's like relationships in general affect you. So was there some tips you learned as like you go? Who should you let in? Are you
Yes.
learning that now?
Yeah.
Are you still like struggling with that, or what have you learned from that struggle? Because I let everybody in too.
Well, this is what I'll say. I'll say this simply: if you're with someone that claims to love you, if they're not excited about your goals or what you're excited about, that's problem number one. Like even with my friends, I'm more excited than they are sometimes about their accomplishments. And so if you're dating someone that doesn't, particularly, it'd be Debbie Downer. You'd be so excited about something you got done that day, and you go tell you like yes, and they give you the most bland. Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Whoo, that take the wind out the sails, man. It's
Yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah. Well, it's hard too when it feels like a brush off. If you're like, oh my gosh, I've been working so hard on this thing. And then that person goes, cool, I got to tell you what I got going on.
That too.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Yeah. And
Yes.
the people who don't share in your excitement because they love you and they should be excited for you, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll mask people's issues because we think that we can help them, evolve them.
Yeah.
We see their potential, and then we overthink about how much we can have an impact on them. But then, I learned also that you have to let people be who they are. They're telling you who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what
They'll
I'm
show
saying?
you. Yeah.
They'll show
Really
you.
important.
And there's some people that can, be revamped or have their views, kind of change. But if it's something that's going to, get in the way of your real passions, you let the Lord work on them, man. That's not your job. That's not your job.
You
know
don't
what
have
I'm
the
saying?
you don't have the time, the energy, or the ability.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No questions.
100%. No, that's really important. I think as far as just who you align yourself with in general, like whether it's through a romantic relationship, friendship, business partnership, because we just recently learned these terms: missionary, mercenary, and martyr. And that was a call with this man named James from Texas, who we met on LinkedIn, and he's been awesome, super helpful. He does a independent film studio down in Texas, really cool. I want to introduce you to him actually, but that'll be a different story for a different time.
The perks.
I'm learning how to use LinkedIn, but he taught us those terms. He said, you want missionaries when you're getting started because they are people who basically carry your mission and they take it on because it's who they are and they want to come alongside and they're not in it for anything other than their own passion from within themselves. And then you have mercenaries who are like, we consider kind of a lot of our mercenaries, like the artists we hire, people who
Mercenaries are someone you hire to come in and do the job, and then they're done.
Yeah.
So like if you're mercenaries are someone that you hire to like go in, do the job, get out. So when you were doing your tour and you were hiring a specific DJ for one night, that was a mercenary.
Yes.
They come in, they do the job, they get out. Yeah. They're not like traveling with you. They're not putting their extra time in. That's it.
And then the martyrs are people who kind of come off like missionaries at first, but they have this underlying current of like, woe is me, or like, just like, they've been a little bit harder for me to identify, but like.
Their agenda, they have their own agenda, you're saying? Like,
they're going to be the people who like, pretend isn't the right word, but for lack of a better word, they're going to be the people who like tell you they would fall on the sword for you, but it's going to only to make themselves look better or elevate themselves. Okay. So it's the people who, again, lack of better terminology, will use you and where you're at. And they'll look probably like the missionary of, oh yeah, I'm coming in because I love the cause, I love what you're doing. Yeah. And then you realize, however far down the road, that like they're not actually in it for the cause, they're in it for themselves, which is fine. But the difference is a mercenary is someone who like tells you up front, I'm in it for money, I'm in it for this, I'm in it for this. Yeah. And if you know their intention, then that's cool. Like the artists that we hire, like some of them work with us and they become like partners with us, and that's awesome. But some artists we hire, we pay them, they come in, do the show, and they're out. They're not partners with us forever. So it's learning to identify those people and like what they have to offer, or where to cut your losses, or where to plug them in. Because you can't take a mercenary and plug them in where a missionary would fit. They just won't do the job right. So we're
And
learning that.
and over time, the more success you have, the harder that can become.
Right.
You know, I've noticed it heavily, especially last year or two. Just identifying, you know, what's best for me and my brand, and you know, who's really here to really, you know, get to the end game here, if you will,
Yeah.
or who's here to just, you know, my poach off of, you know, hey, you got that guy in Texas, you know what I mean? How can I get close enough to get, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of this happened. I've been through a lot, past several years, things that I would hear on TV. The more successful you become, people change. More money you got, friends and family change. And also, I was also taught, and I would kind of brush it off, that, you know, your circle is kind of reflecting of you and all that. But, you know, 7-8 years ago, I would say, nah. I would say, okay, they over there, they don't have a bunch of goals or whatever, however they roll. I'm still me around them. But no, over time, I realized that spending time in these places, it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like now, you know, the set of friends I have now was not the set of friends I had 2 years ago. And I'm a person that I'm very loyal. I keep my friends around. But, you know, the Lord was like, I know you really like this guy, man. He's out.
Yeah.
And they're like, her, she's in the way. And then it ends up, some of my best friends are y'all. Is because, you know, the passion you have. I really like being around like-minded people. The older I get.
Right.
You know, so, and definitely we'll talk about this on the next show, you know, with finances, you know, my life, you know, also changed with that part. You know, I always try to take care of myself and all that good stuff, but it definitely, you know, went to another level, you know, over the last couple of years with my, you know, my accident and all that, and having to do lawsuits and all that stuff, or one lawsuit. So I had to really adjust to, man, people are changing around me. I'm not changing. People are changing around me. You know what I'm saying? People are really, I've given away thousands of dollars trying to help friends and family. And some of the people don't even talk to me anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know
That's
what I'm
hard.
saying? You know, and it's the fact that they'll see Courtney, they'll see Sarah, and they'll say, all right, they can get me to my goal. Like, I don't care about what they got going on. They can get me to my goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it has, you know, and sometimes I have a big heart. So it has been moments where I hurt over it, like, dang, man, that dude's supposed to be my friend. That's my boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now I look at it and I'm like, okay, this all makes sense. Whoever's around is supposed to be around. And, you know, I still got some of the guys that, you know, don't do what I do or don't, you know, have that ambition. I still check on.
Yeah.
But just like everyday leisure stuff, I can't do anymore. Like, you know, I have homeboys that still just want to, you know, meet up and play video games for 6 hours.
Cool. Yeah.
3 o'clock on a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, guys.
Yeah.
And now, like the last 2 or 3 years, and I used to go over there and chill, do stuff like that. But now I had to tell them, dude, the only time I can play a video game, honestly, is after midnight. I got like a midnight to 3 a.m. And then I'll start working.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
I would be tired. Yeah.
Yes, that is a thing, though. I can be a night owl. I
Yeah.
can be. These two are funny. Because
I
they're
get
younger
tired.
than me, but they will go to that knapsack. They will shut it down. And
I'm an old lady in my soul. I'm like
Yo.
I'm like 70 in my soul for
yes,
real.
that's so funny to me.
Well, and I
I
think
will-
there's something to be said for people who like, because some people do just function on different hours.
Yeah, different
And
schedules.
like, yeah, calendars.
They just
Yeah.
keep the party going. I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah, but I will say this though, I do plan on adjusting that. Yes, I do make magic in the middle of the night where I have these ideas that it's like it is remarkable at certain times. But also I would like to have a schedule. You know, I looked up to a lot of sports figures, man. I loved Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? And he would literally say, like, if you start your day, you know, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, like you've lost today.
Yeah.
You lost. You know what I mean? He's like, you know, your competitor has been up since 6 a.m. You 4 hours behind. You know what I'm saying? You trying to get your little jog in, all that good stuff. Or he on lunchtime. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me, I will say the mornings that I do dedicate to getting up early, I'm amazed at what I can get done.
Yeah.
You know, that early. You know, so I will say some of the mornings I will, you know, switch this up. But as far as routine though, the ice water thing on the face, I love that.
Ooh, yeah.
Every morning I'm doing that. And I have this really nice natural 1 a day it's like green vegetable powder thing.
Oh, I saw it at Sam's Club.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've been on it for a
AG1.
month. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's not that.
Is it good?
It's great.
Should I try it?
A little expensive, but it's great.
Okay. Well, but you got to invest in your
Yes,
health.
in
It's
yourself.
like
Yeah.
really important. Like
I didn't care when I was
rather do
young. I was like, oh.
No, you got to, or else you're gonna pay for it later. So you might as well
Yeah.
invest now, and
Yes.
then you're good to go. But
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah and I recently went to go see your comedy show thing that you did in Appomattox for
For the kids.
for the children.
Appomattox Sheriff Department Kids Give Back Night.
Ayo. Yeah, so we came out there to support with our good friend Jesse Reynolds. But as we were going out there, because I'm an external processor, so if I'm thinking, I'm probably talking. So Sarah luckily gets all the thoughts. Like if I'm thinking, someone's hearing it. It could be the cashier at Walmart. It could be Sarah. It could be you. It's whoever. So one of the things I was thinking about, because we're pulling up to see your set, I was like, you know what Train does? And I didn't realize this until like just you, or just in general, people who do your kind of career of like comedian or whatever. I was like, they are being paid to, or being asked to give their energy to shift energy. And I think about how hard that is of a job to like, so when I walk into a room and the energy's down, like if I were having to be you, my job is to give all of me to bring it up. And like on a physical level, on a neurochemical level, on a spiritual level, mental, all of it, like that's really giving 100% of yourself to something to pull it out. And I don't naturally do that well. I typically succumb to the energy of the room rather than yielding my energy tactfully and intentionally to pull it up. So I'm wondering, is there like, on this last question, any tips, tricks, ideas? Like what are you doing to protect that energy so that you can keep doing that and giving it all?
Having the confidence of knowing what you are in that moment. I'm funny. I know I'm funny. I don't care how you're looking when I walk in here. I don't, care about your somberness. I'm going to let my little light shine, if you will. So I've been that way since I was young. And to the people at home, be sure in every moment that you're in, that you're sure of yourself. Because the other person on the other end, if they see just a whisker of uncertainty, they mentally tap out. And anything you're doing, from comedy to businessman, if I see a chink in your arm or just a little bit, the average person's like, they change the channel.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're assertive from the beginning, and you're going to automatically change moods because you're so sure in yourself. The other person on the other end you're going to get on board in one way or one fashion. Even if I'm just like reluctantly turning my body to listen to you now, that's a win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a win. So be sure in what you are, and to the comedians at home, know you're funny. And if you feel like you had a night where they really weren't laughing at you, well, they don't know funny. Tell yourself that. That crowd sucked.
Yeah. Don't take it. What you're saying is don't take on other people's reaction as you. Take it on as,
Or it's like truth.
And there's nothing wrong. There's some balance in this. You will. Some of you guys get criticism, and the person's right. You know what I'm saying? You need to do a little work. But if you, especially me being 10 years of doing stuff like this, I know I'm here for a reason. I know I've stamped myself as far as being professional and good at what I do. So just being very sure of yourself is the main thing, and confidence.
I like it.
Yes.
That's awesome. Cool.
Thank you for coming. We're always like, I don't know, we've talked about it enough on this episode, but we love hanging out with Train. So it's just a good time, even when we're working. It's just a fun time for us all to kind of hang out. So thank you. And then we'll be doing part 2 with Anthony Train Johnson, and talking about kind of some of the stuff that he, I guess we'll say, had to like overcome.
Yeah, it's
the
very,
dead middle of your journey.
Inspiring, man.
Yeah.
It is.
It was cool because like we had I knew you had been in a fire, and you talked about like, I survived X, Y, and Z. And then one night in very like organic, we're hanging out with our friend Heather, and you were just like, well, this is what actually happened. And we're like, oh my gosh, that's insane. The details are crazy.
The wall of it, you know what I'm saying? You guys are definitely, and I get it all the time. People still tell me to this day, like, man, I love just seeing you walk around and just like, how on earth are you, still this chipper. You've done a lot since that hospital bed. I was already doing things, but I've, went even more up since that day.
Yeah.
And it's very, I am thankful. People call me crazy for saying it, but I am thankful that I went through that. I wouldn't change nothing
Yeah.
going back into my past or whatnot. Yeah. So I will be happily here to inspire you guys. Maybe a tearjerker a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It is a little bit of a tearjerker, which is great. That's
story.
real life.
Yeah.
And I'll do anything for y'all, man. What y'all need me to do? I'll show up.
Hey.
We got him.
I don't know when this is coming out, but next show, Roanoke, Virginia.
Yes.
August 22nd and August 23rd, family reunion tour will be there for you guys. Tickets are almost sold out for both shows already. Sarah will have the little
credits.
I will
at the bottom
link
of the screen.
No, I'll link the tickets in the description in the video, and then we'll also have it in the Spotify description as well. So make sure you go see that show. All right, and with that, we'll see you guys next week. Bye. I'm gonna cue us out.
Smile and wave.
All right, we did it, guys.
That was
Bye.
That was good. That was real podding right there.
Yeah, that was good stuff.